What is up, happy people? Thank you guys for tuning in and checking out another motivational video. If you're watching this in the morning, afternoon, or evening, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and definitely good evening. So what I want to talk to you guys about today, I'd like to share a story with you. And, I'm a sucker for a real good story. This one is definitely, hopefully, going to make you smile, maybe even make you laugh by the end of it. And what we're going to talk today about is noise. And I'm not just talking about, the sound our TVs make, or when we turn up the radio, what comes out of it. It's not that kind of noise. I'm talking about noise that's going to happen all around us. And that noise is stuff that we're taking in on a constant basis, whether we know it or not. People giving us opinions, things we see on the news, the radio, infomercials, all that is I consider it to be noise. And what the important thing to remember is we decide how we listen to that noise. We decide what we intake, what we don't, how it affects us, how it doesn't affect us. So let me share this real quick story with you. I hope it makes you laugh. And again, we'll talk about it at the end in just a second. So the story's about a bunch of frogs, about 10 frogs. So you can picture in your mind 10 frogs just hopping along in the forest, okay? When the 2 frogs that were out in front from the other 8, they suddenly were hopping along, and then they disappeared. They're just gone, So the other 8 got very, very worried. They hopped along cautiously and saw that there was a giant sinkhole in the ground. And when they looked down into the sinkhole, they saw their 2 buddies, the 2 frogs, down in that sinkhole. And the 2 frogs tried as hard as they possibly could to get up out of that hole, but every time they seemed to try and use their legs and hop out, they just sank a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. And so after a while, the other 8 frogs started to look up and notice that the clouds were getting extra cloudy, and there was a little bit of thunder they could hear in the distance. There was about to be a bad storm. And they said to their friends, the frogs that were down in the hole, "You guys are never going to make it out. There's a storm coming. We have to leave. You guys need to just give up. You just have to give up. There's no way you're ever going to make it out here. You've been trying for hours. There's nothing you could do. Nothing you could possibly do. Just give up. Just give up." And we know what those 3 words can do to someone. Just give up. So after a while, one of the frogs, after hearing their friends up top say over and over again to just give up, there's no point, there's no hope, he says, "You know what? They're right." And he kind of just lays back and sinks back down to the sinkhole, and that was the end of that frog. But remember, there were 2. So the other frog kept hopping and moving his tiny little frog legs as best as he could. And eventually, after enough hard work, determination, grit, and just like stick-to-itiveness, he finally gets out of the hole 1 inch at a time. He climbs up and gets out of the hole. So like bewildered and shocked, the other 8 frogs hop over to him and go, "Oh my God, you made it out. How did you do that? Especially with us telling you you couldn't. How? Just how? How did you do it?" And so he looks up at them a little bit confused, and they say again, "No, seriously, like, how did you do that? That was amazing. We thought it was impossible. How did you do that?" And again, he looks at them a little confused. He looks at them and he goes, "What? I can't hear you. I'm deaf. I thought you were cheering for me the whole time." So again, perception, and the noise that happens all around us is what we make of it. We decide how we listen to the noise. And again, the same message can either take the wind out of our sails, like we saw with frog number 1, or my hope for you, my goal for you, is that we're going to spend every day being as much as we can like frog number 2, and using that white noise to add fuel to your fire. Again, we decide how we intake it. We decide how it affects us each and every day. So we do take it all in. We do make the messages count, but we make them count for us, and we listen to them the best way that we possibly can. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Again, never settle for anything less than your best, and always make sure you put that stamp of an extra 1% on every single day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.